Hello and welcome again to what was it we're doing again?
Well, we've turned up and we've not made any excuses, put it that way.
I wish I'd done that as a joke. Let's try this again. Hello and welcome to Making Excuses podcast. And I'm Julian. We've got Trevor.
I'm Trevor, yeah.
And we've got Scott. Scott.
In spirit.
He's here
in spirit.
Yeah, it's like he's channeling something.
He's definitely channeling something with that photo.
I don't know why he's not helping us here.
I want to know if those are real tattoos or was those sleeves that you saw on Big Bang Theory. Do you remember that episode? Yeah, but I think they are real.
Oh, well, I don't want to see him.
Yeah, just see if it's cloth.
Yeah. So, did you know...
I'm in suspense about what today's episode is going to be like. You're so secretive before each episode.
No. I've got some notes, but we're not going to follow the notes. What we talked about briefly in the last episode is we were talking about GCSEs and school and that sort of thing. School was a great way of making excuses of not to go or excuses of things
as to why you didn't produce your homework that you took home.
I mean, I'm still friends with a couple of my friends are still from school, and we're sort of like-minded things. But at school in general, there was people making your life hell, maybe, or you were making things. But it was never cool to be smart or appear smart. I guess I don't know how it's like at your school.
I think, if I remember rightly, it was a green jumper with a green tie.
Okay.
But it could have been grey. I think it was green, though. And
so which school
I never enjoyed school. I had some lessons that I did enjoy, but it wasn't good for people with ginger hair back in the 80s.
Okay.
And, I mean, I don't know what bullying goes on now, but yeah, it was bad for redheads. And now everybody's like, oh, red hair is cool and everything else. And you do get the last laugh because you get grey hair last.
Right, yeah.
So it does hide it.
The peppery. My hair wasn't, my hair was sort of dark brown, black. But it used to grow quite thick, but I never used to grow it. I couldn't grow it long, so I never used to have long black hair.
But I think my mum wanted me to be a girl, and so she never cut my hair as much as she should, and I had curly hair.
Did you get the old milkman joke by any chance? Was
the milkman joke?
Saying that you were the milkman's son?
No.
No.
Okay. No. I don't think anybody had done up to that. But I think I was ordered from the Catalogues, and delivered to the door in the white Arrow vans. They used to always be around.
Yes. Yeah.
That was pre-Amazon, really, wasn't it? Everybody ordered from Catalogues.
Yeah. No, this isn't even on the script things, but
you don't expect me to stick to any scripts, do you?
No. But yeah, the catalogue. You bring it back, because that wasn't like the Argos catalogue, which was quite thin and up to date, really, with modern things.
Yeah,
those catalog like K's is the one I'm K's
catalog. Yeah, Burlington.
I'm sort of gesturing, but it was like a huge book.
It was a really thick. It was almost like the phone book used to be, and you'd go through. You'd thoroughly enjoy going through it because there was no internet.
Yep.
So you'd thoroughly enjoy looking through the pictures at what toys you wanted for Christmas, and you'd get a pen and circle it, and you'd look and you think, oh, Mum, please can I have that? It's only 50p a week.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and but you didn't realise at the time how it doesn't sound a lot, does it? 50p, but then multiply that by the number of toys that you got, and even if it was £5 per week, she probably would have been paying for that all year.
It was £5 per week. They used to do it on the interest, didn't they? I didn't. So the price you saw in the thing wasn't the final price you paid. Oh, it seemed to be a lot more. So say Argos, Index. Those catalogues places, you'd say, oh, it's £200. In the big catalogue, it could be 300, 400 because you're paying for all that extra interest. But I remember being asked, so what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? I can't decide until I looked through the catalogue. You're thumbing your way through.
Yeah. There's obviously another episode there about our childhood toys or things that we got given when we was younger. We may have to cover that, and it was probably quite retro if anybody knows what a rally chopper is, or a Commodore VIC-20.
Oh, mine was a ZX Spectrum.
ZX Spectrum.
Well, funnily enough, we are going to be talking about retro gaming.
Are we really?
Yeah, but just about the catalogue. That's not even on my script. The way for people at home. So they're talking about ordering through a catalogue, and you say it's like the online thing. To summon a delivery, what did you have to do? So just to say you're expecting something to be picked up, say from the catalogue. So they've dropped something off. Maybe it's not correct. Maybe it's the wrong thing. What do you have to do?
I don't know, because it wasn't me that was ordering at the time, but I'm assuming you had to make a phone call or fill in a form in the back of the catalogue or something like a returns form.
I remember having to put something in the window, like the white arrow logo.
Yeah.
So after you called them, you'd say, which house is it? And you put their logo, like, I don't know, like Harry Potter is at a post or something. You're going to get people
you did use. It's like today now, people put flags up, don't they, for whatever they're protesting and things like that. But I do remember that neighbours used to put almost like car stickers, but in their living room windows or bedroom windows, pointing out. So during voting time, they'd do that. But I always remember my house's next door neighbour. He used to be called Pete, I think he was a wagon driver. He kept himself to himself, nice bloke and everything. But I always remember one of the bedroom windows said "Save Hillards." It said "Save Hillards," and Hillards, for anybody that's listening, is an old supermarket chain, and I think they were being bought out by, might have even been Tesco's or something like that. I don't know, but I just remember this prominent sticker in the house window, "Save Hillards," and I'm just wondering, has he still got that in the window of the house?
Well, it's one of those things.
Because it was so faded.
Yeah, you probably can't get it off. Like the old painted signs on the sides of buildings. Yeah. It probably is like on the glass. You'd have to remove the glass to get that sticker out.
People are googling Hillards now, aren't they?
Yeah. It's the old Tesco's. It's a Tesco site. That's where Hillards used to be.
It was, yeah. So luckily, this is the thing. If we ever talk about anything retro or anything from the past, anyone that's not from that era can Google it. And we're so lucky with Google, aren't we? We had to have the Encyclopedia Britannica, was it? And that's what you had, and books and things, and that was it. That's all you had.
It's a bit of a conversation killer, I think, sometimes, because you'll be like reminiscing, and it's like, oh, maybe it was this, maybe it was that, and then it's like, no, it's definitive this. Google says. It's like, oh, well, we're not going to reminisce in now. We'll have to think of something else to talk about, because you just killed that conversation. We're waxing lyrical now. We're talking about supermarkets and all those exciting things that kids don't talk about.
In fact, what are you wearing today? Let's have a look.
Yes.
Peer around and have a look. Is that a Transformers T-shirt?
When I was at school,
yeah,
all the kids were into the stickers, the football stickers. Yeah. I was into the Transformers sticker books. So me and my friend Darren, instead of us swapping stickers, we'd swap Transformers. So it's from the movie. They made a sticker book. Yeah. So I'm quite fond of the old Transformers.
Do you remember Garbage Pail Kids? I remember the Cabbage Patch Kids, but Garbage Pail Kids, and like this sort of Halloweeny styled, much more horror versions of them. And I had an entire door full of Garbage Pail stickers that would probably be worth a fortune now if I had not.
Did anybody eat the gum? I remember the gum being really hard. Like the gum you could have built houses with, because it was that sort of solid.
They used to have sweet cigarettes. Do you remember?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to come back on them now.
Ridiculous. the stuff that, and it's funny. People think that would influence you into smoking. And my mother smoked all throughout my entire. She didn't smoke anymore, but throughout my entire childhood, and you could see all the patterns blowing around in the house because the windows were shut, and you just didn't think of anything of it. And both myself and my brother do not smoke. So you would think that it would have a knock-on effect, but no, it didn't.
But talking of retro and thinking back, we were talking off mic about computers.
Computers, yes.
And how the kids today, they've got whatever the computer, they've got the big surround screens, and they've got their headphones, the sound systems, all the RGB colours. What did you have?
I had the Commodore VIC-20, and I was so jealous because one of the neighbours across the road, Chris, it was my mum's best friend's son, he got the Commodore 64, and it was so much better than the VIC-20. But I absolutely loved that computer. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, 20k, and it was still able to, as in memory, 20k, not £20,000. Yeah. And it was still able to produce games that were playable. And it's just phenomenal. Now, a lot of these retro computers are coming back. They've brought out Atari consoles and the ZX Spectrum and probably the Amiga. There was the Amiga, wasn't there? The Amigas. Yeah. They're all coming back into much more compact forms. And so, yeah, they're making a bit of a comeback. And they're quite pricey, actually. They're not cheap. You'd think they'd be dirt cheap because they don't do a lot. But yeah, they're all coming back.
I've got a ZX Spectrum, and I've still got my original one.
Yeah.
But so before you start saying, "Oh, that's worth a lot of money," what I did was I took all the insides out and I use it as a pen holder.
ZX Spectrum,
48k plus.
You do realise there's going to be loads of people screaming at you right now for doing something so sacrilege.
Screaming me like loading the game. Yeah. Screaming. Did you ever heard of ZX Spectrum game loading?
I remember playing. I don't know if it was an ET game or Paperboy on ZX Spectrum, and there was only like 2 or 3 colours to the game. It was almost not quite vector graphics, but it wasn't brilliant. And you'd play the tape, and it made a horrific sound throughout.
So
and then if it didn't
say
load,
making that noise, it was the screeching noise. I'll have to try and find out the sound effect. Put that in.
Some of the old movies, though, going back to retro, some of the old movies they used to do that with the handset and put it down onto as it loaded the tapes and the information through, and how much does it just come on? Just just in if you've got a smartwatch now or your phone, how much more powerful that is than all the government computers that were on the Bionic Man or Wonder Woman or whatever in the background with all the tapes going back and forth. Right, yeah. That is more powerful than all that put together.
No,
it's phenomenal.
Like I say the sort of emulation and sort of playing the games.
But we're retro as well because we're getting on a bit. So
yeah, I don't think anybody's going to
collector's editions. I don't know.
Limited edition, you see.
Limited editions, yeah. So if you see us sat in some shop somewhere, in the sale aisle or the bargain basement,
definitely a bargain bucket.
Bargain bucket, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
That's my God! I've just had a flashback. Bostock Records, where the bargain buckets and baskets of records, and they'd all be taped together for like 10 45s or 10 albums for like £1 or something, and there'd be 1 or 2 all right-ish
things you've never heard of
stars in there, and then the rest of them were
put the good ones on the outside.
They did, on
the outside. The rest of them, or you get duplicates.
Yeah.
That one again.
Whenever anybody bought me music, I remember my brother giving me an album for my birthday once, and I think it was the Terrorhawks. Do you remember Terrorhawks?
Yeah, I do.
It was the Terrorhawks theme music, but it wasn't a full album. I think it was just a what did they used to call the longer one, the 12-inch? It was the 12-inch. It looked like an album, and it was the theme tune to Terrorhawks because he knew I watched it as a kid, and that's what he got me. Yeah. So and he did buy me some other albums, but I'd have to have a think. But I think half of the time when he bought me stuff, it was stuff that he liked.
I think I got a second-hand album from my sister, and that was like now that's what I call hits 2. And I was just thinking, so that's like an old album and everything else. They're into the hundreds now. They're still releasing them on CD.
Now that's what I call music 1.
Yeah,
and it was on cassette.
Yeah,
and I think there was a View to a Kill, Duran Duran on the first one.
Right.
I'm trying to think what other songs there was, possibly. Peter Cetera, the Karate Kid theme,
right?
That was on, I think, as well. If it wasn't on the first, it was on the second, but I think it was on the first. But there was 2 competitors. One was called Hits, and then the other one was called Now That's What It Was Called Music. In fact, Peter Cetera's was on Hits, I think,
right.
And then but I can't remember any other tracks that was on at that time because it was so old.
Again, it was always hit and miss on those, wasn't it? You'd have one side good music and the other side like, I'm not playing that side very often.
But it's still going. But then physical media seems to be disappearing. After CD for music, it's pretty much gone digital, hasn't it? Same with DVDs for movies and things. It's I think you can pick up a DVD now at a charity shop for about 10 pence.
Yeah.
I don't know how many cents that is in a dollar, but it's 10 cents or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, and if you actually play one, they're actually good quality.
It's normally better quality.
It's good quality, definitely, because sometimes watching a 4K retro movie, it's too crisp and too sharp, and you can clearly see it's a movie set. So if you're watching something like The Goonies or an old Star Wars movie or something like that, it can be too sharp and it's not cinema-like. I enjoy going to the cinema and seeing the film, and then you've got the odd blips and imperfections on the film itself, and it was just part and parcel of going to the cinema.
Well, I'll stop you there. That might go up in another episode, that, John.
All right.
So...
You're letting the game.
I know. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
It was great to talk to you. And we're not making an excuse to stop.
We're not.
But until next time, bye for now.
And hope you've enjoyed it. Bye for now. See you again next time.